Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Loughborough University's Institute of Advanced Studies. I'm Professor Ksenia Chmutin, I'm director of the IIS. And like some of us today, I'm joining online. Apologies, I'm full of autumn cold, and the students are not haven't even arrived yet. Um, Nevertheless, it's our absolute pleasure to host our open program fellow, Oleksandr, with us today, and he's hosted by Oksana from Loughborough Business School. As always at the IIS, we're gathering to discuss the most exciting, the most interesting topics and ideas, and I'm sure today you will all enjoy Oleksandr's presentation. Just a couple of housekeeping rules before we begin. So for those of you in the room, feel free to ask the questions after the presentation. We will also have an opportunity to pose questions online for those of you online. Please, I just want to remind you that we are recording the presentation, but we are not recording Q&A, and the presentation will be posted on our YouTube channel and podcast, but not questions and answers. Without any further ado, I would like to invite Oksana to introduce our fellow. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. It's my pleasure today to welcome my colleague and old friend. We have been working together for almost 20 years, it seems to me, and it's difficult to imagine. But actually, yes, we worked together when I worked at West Ukrainian University, and now we have a very good opportunity to welcome Oleksandr here today. And let me introduce some achievements, Oleksandr achievements. So Oleksandr is a doctor and professor of economics, and he is a board member of National Agency of Quality Assurance in Higher Education in Ukraine, and he also executive director of the non-governmental organization Civic Synergy, and also contributes to other non-governmental organizations such as Innovate University and Forge. And actually, he also led and contributed to research for European Union projects funded by European Union Erasmus Plus projects, such as Education Sustainable Development and so on. Actually, you see all of them today, but actually, the main value for me and that is our friendship and our collaboration within the research. And the results of one of this research, Oleksandr will present today. So please welcome my good colleague and great friend. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Oksana, for such introduction, and thank you for this opportunity, because without your support, without your announcement of this opportunity in Loughborough, I have never have such chance to visit your university. Also, many thanks to your team, great team, because it was a surprise for me that just 4 of you organized these events in Loughborough. It's inspire a lot of researchers to take part in this events. Yes, I represent formal and informal education system. From formal part, I'm professor of West Ukrainian University in Ternopil, and also Academia FSA. It's High School of Economics and Innovation in Lublin. That's why we can cooperate also between Ukraine and UK, and between Poland and UK. And also I can show you my city, city of Ternopil. We have very big lake inside of city. I also invite you, maybe after this war, terrible war, you can visit Ukraine, you can visit Ternopil, and you can see all our sites in all our university sector and a lot of interesting places we have. But also this topic is not specific my field, because I am I received PhD and doctorate degree in public sector economics, in macroeconomics, but thanks to such projects like economic freedom and inclusion through digitalization, university reaction of big obstacles, and education for sustainable development, I choose the topic of integrating NEET people in social life, and try to present you this research like one part of this research, because after we start this research, we understand that it will be not only one but few articles because it's a very broad topic. And also, Oksana mentioned that I am a member of National Agency of Higher Education Quality Assurance in Ukraine, and also your country, United Kingdom, was a big support for our development of this agency in Ukraine in 2019 when we start, because your representatives of your quality assurance agency was our mentors and trainers for our experts when we start organize this accreditation system based on UK experience, EU experience. And from this figure, you can see that during these 6 years, we accreditate more than, every year we accreditate more than 1,000, even 1,000 programs. In 2022, it was 2,000 programs in Ukraine. It's a huge amount because, according to European experience, no agency in Europe have such big amount accreditation programs, study programs. But in Ukraine, we have more than 300 universities, a lot of different kind of programs, and even price, not limited universities close these programs. We have a lot of different bachelor, master, PhD programs. And during even war period, when war started, we had more simply way to accreditate programs during 1 year without any fees. But just now we have stable situation. We just now accreditate also a university pay fee for accreditation, and we, even in war condition, we work like in ordinary life. Okay, but nevertheless, I will start my presentation about NEET people and this integration into social and economic life. We need to start with that just now we live in a very unstable world, and VUCA world, volatility, uncertainty, ambiguity, and complexity. We can't predict nothing. Before we live, of course, in sports society, we can predictable, ordinary, definite, and steady world. But just now, according to COVID, according to war conditions, not only Ukraine, but also around the world, we should change our strategies, we should change our way of lives. And just now we have a lot of different challenges. And one of these challenge, it's NEET. It's abbreviation of not in education, employment, and training. It's group of people, youngsters, who just now, social group, is particularly vulnerable to social isolation, poverty, and marginalization, posing significant challenges to sustainable societal development, economic growth, and prosperity. Integration of these people into economic and social life, it's also a good example of such integration in your country, because you have back to work plan in United Kingdom, which is aimed to enhancing the economic participation of individuals who remain outside of labor market, including youngsters. Who is this category? I think you heard about this phenomenon like hikikomori. It's a Japanese term used to describe a condition of which individuals, young people, withdraw completely from social life, isolating themselves at home. And even Michael Zellinger wrote such book, Shutting Out of the Sun, How Japan Creates Own Lost Generation. And this hikikomori, it's not only phenomenon of Japan, because this term also used in China. Also, hikikomori rates high in many countries. Treating them can vitalize the economy and economic development. Of course, this problem not only for Asian society, but also for Europe. Differences between hikikomori and NEETs, it's because hikikomori is mainly psychological and cultural phenomenon, but NEET people is mainly in economic and policy categories. That's why we try to analyze these NEET people and to understand how to return these youngsters into educational and labor market. First of all, we need to understand roots of or risk factors of to become NEET. First of all, a lot of economists agree that low level of education is one of risk factor to become NEET, because young people with a low level of education are 3 times more likely to become NEET compared to others. That's why high quality education, like in UK, for example, it's one of the big opportunity to people, for youngsters not to become NEET. Also, a big problem is immigration status. Youngster people with immigration background are 70% more likely to become NEET compared to locals. Also, a problem of disability. It's challenge for youngsters, problem of divorce, unemployment rate, household income, and also location where people live, in rural area or in urban area. According to research of literature review, we try to find key factors which explain NEET status. First of all, it's psychological perspective. Next is psychological and macroeconomic perspective. From a psychological perspective, according to these researchers, NEET often face social exclusion and marginalization, making them more likely to experience poverty, limited opportunities to improve their social status in society. Also, it's intergenerational effect. Young people who stay NEET for a long time often find it difficult to return to work or to education. Also, it's a welfare and policy burden, because when you have many young people are NEET, it puts extra strain on welfare system, healthcare system, and government policies, turning into a shared social issue rather than just an individual problem. Inequalities and structural barriers. Being NEET is often linked to factors such as gender, family income, ethnic background, and some regional differences. And also impact on social cohesion and democracy, because we discussed with colleagues that since NEETs are cut off from work and education, they are more likely to lose trust in institutions. We have problem with trust in others, trust in political institutions, and withdrawal from civic or political life, which can reduce democratic participation. And even in Ukraine, we have problems with participations of youngsters in political life, and we have very strange results of public choice after that. From the psychological perspective, according to researchers, we have such risk factors like mental health risk. NEET status is closely linked to higher levels of depression, stress, reduced life satisfaction. Also, we have problem with identity. Teenagers are key periods for building one's identity and sense of self. Also, motivation decline, because spending a long time in NEET situation, you lose motivation to work, reduce motivation and initiative and ability to set your goals. Social isolation, it's one also of the big problem, being cut from peers and institutions, weakness social support networks, which are vital for psychological resilience, and also risk behavior. NEET are more likely to turn to substance misuse, other harmful coping strategies, particularly when mental health support is lacking. And from economic perspective, macroeconomic perspective, according to researchers, we have problem with lost productivity and growth, of course, because big amount of youngsters just now are out of labor markets. They don't create GDP, and they lose their talents according to creativity also. Fiscal burden on the state. NEETs frequently depend on welfare support, unemployment benefits, or public health care, increasing government public spending on these spheres. Also, it generates labor market inefficiency. High number of NEETs shows that young people's skills don't match the needs of job market, and you need time to coordinate these received skills with the needs of new labor market, because you understand just now, after graduating the university, it's not enough knowledge, not enough skills to be an active member of labor market. You should use strategy of lifelong learning and receive also some new skills, not only from formal sector of education, but also from informal sector of education. And long-term scaring effect, spending long period as NEET, often results in lower lifetime earnings, weaker employability, and greater dependence of welfare system. Of course, Eurofound recognize different types of needs, because it's also roots very different. That's why, according to Eurofound, we can see that needs divided: those who have returned to work, short-term unemployed people, long-term unemployed, those with disability, family responsibilities, and other. But despite of these different types of research, there is notable gap in literature according to NEET, because one studies more focus on material factors to become NEET, such income, employment opportunities, and other researchers focus mostly on non-material factors. It's like motivation, well-being, social capital. That's why in our research we try to combine these two group of factors, non-material and material. We try to use the statistics of 29 countries of Europe during 2019-2024, and try to build models based on open source data from World Bank, OECD, and Eurostat. The problem is that not all countries calculate number of needs between youngsters. That's why we have statistics only for 29 countries, which I show you later. And our hypothesis of this study is that the influence of material factors on the prevalence of needs is lower than the influence of non-material factors. And we try to explain it based on example of 29 European countries, including UK. Here we can see model variables. We can see like needs rate, it will be objective function, and 22 variables which demonstrates material and non-material factors. For example, we can see labor force participation rate, youth unemployment rate, expected years of school, PISA score, human development index, social progress index, and Gini index, global AI index, and a lot of indicators, which we try to divide it into material and non-material. And just now, as you can see from this figure, needs, it's a very big problem for a lot of European countries. Here you can see the changes of needs rate in European countries during 2019, 2024, and you can see a lot of countries has decreased level of needs. For example, like Belgium from 23 to 17. For example, UK, you can see from 14 to 10% of needs, but a lot of countries in Europe increase level of needs. Here you can see example of Finland, example of Hungary, and you can see the highest rate of needs between youngsters, it's in Turkey and in Greece. And here also you can see the map of needs population around the Europe. Green, it's low level, less than 10, and red, it's a very huge level, more than 17% between youngsters. Here you can see the gender differences between needs, and also you can see that it's gender problem, because between women needs are higher rate than between men. In our descriptive statistic analysis, we try to show comparing these 29 countries, calculate mean, median, and standard deviation according to all of these variables, and we receive such a result that our model, determinants of needs rate, overall statistically significant because it's explaining approximately 85% of variation of needs rate. And after adjusting for the number of predictors, the adjusted R is 0.65. And also the results highlights the crucial role of labor market participation and education outcomes in reducing needs rate. While economic and structural variables like inequality, GDP per capita play a secondary role in this model, the findings suggest that policies that improve workforce engagement and educational performance are likely to have the most substantial impact on reducing needs rate. Also, we, as I mentioned before, we try to divide it factors on material and non-material, and consider the correlation of material variables influences the number of needs to identify the most significant of them. And we can see that labor force participation, it's the most crucial variable in this material figures. Also, level of inequality, educational investment, and quality of education. It's crucial factors if we discuss problems with material variables. If we talk about non-material variables, it should be mentioned that internet penetration, happiness level, social progress index, and gender equality is the crucial factors or is like guarantee institutional involvement, need people into social and economic life. Also, we should mention that from table 4 and 5, we can among the material factors, greater attention in the analysis should be given to variables labor force and Gini index. Whereas among the non-material factor, priority should be given to variable happiness level of satisfaction of your life. When we talk about the results, what kind of policy should be built based on these results, we should mention that the finance model identifies two key material factors. First of all, labor force participation. It means that a lot of countries, which creates a lot of barriers for youngsters to be involved in labor market, creates this negative effect of need population. And also income inequality, which measured by Gini index, demonstrates positive effect with higher inequality associated with the increase of needs rates. Market engagement and social equity are the primary drivers in shaping needs level, while the statistical influence of other material factors, education, infrastructure, proved to be secondary factors. When we talk about non-material factors like, for example, internet penetration or social progress index, they have also negative effect. It means that good social cohesion programs, good digital infrastructure creates more opportunities for youngsters. And this result suggests that among non-material indicators, digital infrastructure and the overall level of social development are more other dominant factors of shaping needs rates. Also, based on our statistical and mathematical models, we create clusters. We made cluster analysis between these 29 European countries, and we received 3 cluster groups. You can see that United Kingdom in the biggest cluster with Germany, Austria. And what this cluster shows us. Cluster 1 consists of countries with relatively lower social economic indicators across the key variables. And these are mainly Southern and Eastern European countries characterized by higher need risk and lower levels of immaterial well-being. Cluster number two includes countries with mixed characteristic, occupying and intermediate position, and they exhibit some strengths, but also face certain challenges. This group mainly comprises selected countries from Central and Northern Europe. And cluster number three represents the most economical and socially developed countries, mostly from Western and Northern Europe, with high values on both material and immaterial indicators and low needs rates. Of course, the policies of integrating people in these different clusters should be different based on their risk factor, based on problems, why these people become NEET, which factors more influenced in different clusters. And findings in this study confirm that the prevalence of young people is a NEET category across European countries, shaped by complex material and non-material factors. And among material determinants, labor force participation emerged as the most powerful negative predictor of NEET's prevalence. Between non-material factors, we mentioned that internet penetration and social progress index exhibited substantial negative association with needs rate. And this information suggests that digital infrastructure and broader social well-being indicators play a central role in enabling educational participation, job search, and skills acquisition. Of course, we understand that our research has some limitations. First of all, we need to mention that not all countries we can analyze. Why 29? Because we can't analyze statistics about needs in Ukraine. We can't find statistics of needs in North America, South America. That's why we can find only we choose this only 29 countries from Europe to analyze. Maybe it's not very big group of countries, but it's what we have. Also, next, our limitation, it's problems that, for example, Eurostat or European Values Survey defines needs within the age of 15 till 29 age group. And the indicator of European Union, like predictor or a global target to decrease number of needs to 9% by 2030. But World Bank defines needs within the age of 15-24. That's why it will be difficult to find equivalent statistics. That's why we use only Eurostat statistic, which we can find needs between 15-29. But some researchers also mentioned that according to Silver Revolution, lifelong learning, NEET people can be considered between 15 and 34 just now, according to today's challenges. These limitations show us that different age cohorts imply different risk structures. While youngster individuals are more likely to remain in education, older youth are more engaged in the labor market. Also, when we talk about policy relevance, youth target 9% is extremely tied to the age group of 15-29. However, if World Bank data based on 15-24 range are used, this benchmark becomes less applicable. And also some conclusions according to our research, which we have just now, demonstrates that really countries where young people enter the labor market more actively tend to have a lower risk of youth social exclusion. This is the key anti-NEET factor. Youth employment policies such as internships and support for first jobs should be a priority in a lot of European countries. Also, educational system that provide relevant skills enhance, like not only hard skills, but also soft skills, enhance youth competitiveness in the labor market. And also, evidence suggests that policies aimed at NEET reduction should combine different strategies. First of all, we need to mention labor market activation measures. It's promoting participation through target employment programs, incentives for employees to hire young workers, because we know that a lot of countries demonstrate that youngsters receive less less salary than people with experience, and it's also challenging for young workers. Equity-oriented reforms, tackling income inequality through progressive taxation, wage policies, and expanded access to affordable education and housing. Also, we should mention digital inclusion strategies, ensuring universal access to high-speed internet and promoting digital literacy among disadvantaged youth. And last but not least, it's social development investment, strengthening public services, community engagement, social capital to create supportive environment for young people. As I mentioned before, I took part in different European programs, which also take care about youth policy, about youngsters. And one of our project just now, which we finished this year, it's providing of academic freedom and inclusion through digitalization. And we have a lot of partners in this project because this project starts when our Ukrainian war, full invasion, starts in 2022. And this year it will be finished. We have a very good partnership, international partnership. It's KTH from Sweden University, University of Alcalá from Spain, and Lisbon University, and for Ukrainian University from Lviv, from Kharkiv, Dnipro, and Kiev, and my NGO. And what's the aim of this project according to this problem of need which we have? To enhance an academic freedom and inclusion of students and teachers through establishing and exploring the inclusive virtual campus. When we can propose them inclusive courses, it's different types of courses, entrepreneurship, business strategies, self-development, and so on. But these courses should be inclusive. It means that we propose these courses in two languages, Ukrainian and English. We propose these courses with subsidies, like for people who like don't hear. We propose these courses 24 hours per 7 days. It inclusive also because they are free for using, and it's like part of informal education. It's like appendix for obligatory courses in universities. And this for universities from Lviv, Kharkiv, Kiev, and Dnipro, they already approved these courses for bachelor students. They choose some of them because here you can see example of these courses, for example, business engineering, financial management, innovation and entrepreneurship, starting the business from idea to implementation. All these courses, there are 12 of them. Every university should create 3 of them. And just now they are piloting period for these courses in between students of these 4 universities. My NGO support this project by creating methodology how to create these courses, inclusive courses for students, and this university use this methodology. And just now we have these courses for students, but when we finish this project this year, in the end of this year, it's our idea to make like a dissemination or sustainability of the project to propose these courses not only for students from universities, but also for our veterans who return from the war. A lot of military people and their families to be integrated in social society after this terrible war. And these courses will help maybe not only in formal sector of education, but also in an informal sector of education. And role of NGO in this integration of different people, from youngster to older people, are very crucial. And we try to develop this project even after financing will be finished. We try to develop this project in whole Ukraine and to invite a lot of not only students, but also other group of people to use these courses 24/7. Also, I want to ask you if you want, it's not obligatory, but if you want, try to scan this survey. It's questionnaire, just 5 questions about understanding perceptions and expectations surrounding AI, using AI between teachers. It's not for students survey, it's a survey for teachers. It's just 5 questions. You should rank just your agree or disagree from 1 to 10. If you agree, it's 10 point or 9 point. If you disagree, it's 1. Average level also. It can be also mark. It's just anonymous, just your country and your answer of these 4 very short questions. Because we try also to understand the role of AI in our educational system. We collect a lot of surveys from Ukrainian partners, from Germany, universities, teachers from Poland, but we have lack of answers from United Kingdom. If you can help me to finish this survey, it will be good for you. And thank you very much for your attention. I try to present it in more understandable, simple way, and I'm ready for your questions according to my presentation. Thank you very much.